radar. It looks like there's some activity in Partyville. You can see those bright lime greens is what we're watching. But again, the severe thunderstorm warning is what we're looking at. Okay, we're going tornado warning. We're going to have to break in. Catherine, you ready? Oh, all right. Then let's just keep it rolling. Sorry, I've been on Facebook Live this whole time. I didn't mean to do that. We're live on TV. We'll probably just stay on here. So if we want to get Catherine down here, we are going to issue a tornado warning for this storm in DeForest. And we're going to keep this rolling here tonight. So we are watching this cell that has been located near Partyville, just north of Rio. And I could see that pretty easily on my radar off screen. Looks like we are going to go with a tornado warning, 2 rotations here as it just popped onto your screen. So we're going to be focusing on this one. Looks like this is actually not for Northern Dane. This is going to be a tornado warning for Cambria and Rio. It was located near Rio. I'm looking at it right now. Looks like it was probably 1 mile to the north and east of Rio. And this is going to be moving southeast, but more east-southeast over towards Fall River, Randolph, and Columbus. So if you guys are watching right now in Cambria, Columbus, Beaver Dam, your tornado sirens should be going off. This is located just to the north of Rio, where we have a potential tornado. It's very unlikely at this time of the night that we are going to be able to see this. But please, if you're in Rio, Cambria for sure. I would say the Cambria area is where we need to be sheltered right now. So please get to the lowest level of your house. Obviously, a basement is going to be the best location for you. Basement, away from windows. For me, it's going to be a closed-off room with all brick, away from windows and where I can shut the door. So a lot of times it's going to be under stairs. Please get to your spot right now. Again, this did just kind of develop quickly. Obviously, we went on air for a severe thunderstorm warning, and now we're here for tornado warning. So it's actually located in this spot here, Rio and near Poinette. I think this is actually good. Catherine, go on back out so I can let everybody see this here who's watching, because a lot of times warnings get issued everywhere. And I just think it's good to focus on what we're looking for. If you're in Sauk City, if you're in Madison, if you're in DeForest, if you're in Waunakee, you are not under a tornado warning. You do not need to be in your shelter at this moment. So if you are in Waunakee and DeForest or Sun Prairie, that area is not under this. Where this was located, also Portage. Portage, you are not under this threat. We are really focused in the Rio stretch and Cambria. Those 2 communities need to be in your shelter at this moment. Let's go ahead and get on. You can get there. And why don't we put on radar and then track this out for people? It's difficult to see here, but again, it looks like it's hard to see the inflow, but this is where I was picking up that rotation. I already can see a little in cut there. So this is going to be the rotation part, and this is going to be moving through Cambria. Can we get Rio to show up on the map? Possibly. There it is. So I know that the tornado possible was here near Rio, and it is going to be moving in this location over Cambria near Randolph and Columbus. So this entire stretch needs to be in their shelter at the moment. So let's go ahead and track that line right there and pull it through Columbus. That's a little bit too far. Why don't we just pull it up towards Columbus, and that'll be good. Yep, right there. All right, so this is going to be a couple of communities in the path of this possible tornado. If you live in one of these spots and you have more than 5 to 10 minutes and you're in a mobile home, please get to that spot now. And that's important. You want to have enough time to where you're not going to be traveling and get caught in this. But I would say 10 minutes. If you live in Columbus, you're going to have just enough time here in Columbus where you would be able to get to your shelter if it's less than 10 minutes. Because you can see Columbus right now is around 12:38. Fall River, it's getting close there. About 12:33 in Fall River. This is going to be that possible tornado. Again, this has been radar indicated near Rio. That's where it was last located. Columbus at around 12:38. South Beaver Dam at 12:40. So the Beaver Dam area kind of around 12:40. Now, I know Beaver Dam wasn't actually in the tornado warning, but I wouldn't be surprised if you're hearing the sirens go off in Beaver Dam. Let's turn on velocities. Let's see if we can get right on in this and see. Yeah, I can see it right there. right there. There is your possible tornado. So let's go in on this. You can see how far away is this from Rio? So again, if you're watching in Partyville, you're actually okay. Partyville's not in this possible tornado. There's your rotation. Couple miles northeast of Rio. Looks like it's going to go over Highway 146. And you can see that I would say Cambria absolutely needs to be in your shelter at this moment. So there's the possible tornado. Why don't we zoom in further? And I want to see if we can get some roads. Here we go. That's good right there. There we go. So this is going to be County Road Highway G. You can see County Road Highway G, County Road B. So County Road B and G. So this rotation here, it's a little broad, but that is going to be moving over 146 here over the next couple of minutes. Okay, we can take it back out a little bit. You want to scroll through it a little bit? I want to see if it's strengthened or weakened a little.
So I think there's better rotation on the cell northeast of Rio.
They did say there was 2 spots, right?
Yeah, and that's one of them.
There's one, and then they have one down here?
Yeah. But better one on the north, for sure.
This is a better?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, do you want to go down to the other one?
Sure.
Let's see what we're looking at down here. Is it, again, it's a little difficult. Is that right there?
Yeah.
So it's about we have one 2 miles north of Rio, and we have one 2 miles south of Rio. Yeah, to me, this one's not as good.
Right.
I'm a little more focused on, what does Tim say? Yeah, this one.
The northeast one, that one you're pointing at.
To me, this one looks better. It's not amazing, but it's definitely the one that I'm going to be more
So it also looks like that rotation is going to go right along County Highway G, and that's heading south of Cambria.
So it's going to go right here?
Correct.
All right, so it looks like it is going to go right over 146. So Cambria, stay in your shelter, but it looks like, yeah, about a mile south of Cambria. So some communities here, Lost Lake, you can see Fox Lake is also over here. So Fox Lake, you guys, Randolph is in that picture, so you want to be in your shelter in Lost Lake and Randolph. You might as well just take precautions right now. Cambria is going to be in their shelter, but you do have some time. I would say you need to be in your shelter already in Cambria. If you're watching in Randolph, Lost Lake, or Fall River, if you're within 3 to 5 minutes of your shelter and you're in a mobile home, you do have a chance to get there, but you need to leave immediately. All right, we're sending it over to Catherine for tips. What do we have? All right, go ahead, Catherine, with tips.
All right, so some tips that we have: safest place, like we always say, is underground, shelter, basement, or your safe room. Always cover your head in this sort of instance. You know, another place we always say to go to if you don't have a basement or a safe room, the interior rooms, the hallways, those are also good alternatives. Obviously, the lowest level is the safest. You want to stay away from windows. I know a lot of us want to go see these storms, but that's just not the place to be, especially in a scenario like this. So what we also want is for people to get out of auditoriums. Warehouses, mobile homes are definitely not safe. It's one of the worst places you could be. And if outside, obviously, please go inside. Make sure that if you know anyone outside in this instance, make sure that they are safe too, and to seek indoors at this time.
All right, I was trying to look off air here. I don't see anything incredible. The focus is still going to be on that system right there near Rio. Do you want to, let's pull it out and just get why don't we pull it out and just go straight warning so we can see the tornado warnings right now. There you go. This gives you a nice idea. You can see Cambria. Let's see what other towns are on there if you want to get some other towns on here. So there you go. You got Fountain Prairie, Fox Lake, Beaver Dam, and Columbus. These are going to be all communities that are in this tornado warning. Kind of looked like we were tracking 2 small rotations. I didn't see what we call a couplet, where I would say we have a confirmed tornado through radar. I don't think anything could be confirmed, which is good. We have that one that we could see 2 right there. If you just kind of look at it real quick, that's how I've always learned to look at this. You know, where does your eye go to first? You have one right there, and you got another little swirl near Lowellville. But not incredibly impressive, but definitely want to be in your shelter at this moment. If you guys are in Cambria, this looks like it's about 2 miles south and west of Cambria is going to be your main focus right now. Do we have anything from these storms, Catherine?
The only other update we have, it looks like the second rotation that we talked about earlier, the one to the south, correct, is peaking up a bit. I mean, heading south once again towards Fall River and Columbus, but we don't know any exact information.
It's picking up?
Yeah, it's just moving. south towards, or just towards Fall River in Columbus.
Okay, so let's zoom in just a little bit. You want to hold it right there. Let's just track that one out. So just track this out, just that little area. Let's pull it through Columbus.
Both of them?
No, just give me that little one if Tim's talking about it. So Tim's going to be the warning coordinator. Let's pull it through Columbus at the National Weather Service. So here are some communities in the path. Please be in your shelter right now. Hamden School is going to be around 12:40 if you know where that's located. Columbus Community Hospital, that's going to be at 12:49. Columbus at 12:51. So I'm assuming this community hospital is going to be on the west side of town. And again, these are some spots. So I'd say Columbus, you've got what exact time is it right now? 12:36. You have about 10 to 15 minutes. Typically, your shelters, if you're in that mobile home, should be within 10 minutes. You do have that moment to get out right now to get to your shelter. Please take this time to do it immediately. So take this seriously. But let's keep that warning on because I do want to make sure that we don't miss a strengthening signal here. But
so it looks like rotation on the southern rotation, which this is the one we're looking at, is just south of Highway 16.
Okay, let's get off of this and zoom right on in on here just in case there is a tornado on the ground. I know these are both radar indicated, but if we get right to the street level, we know what's going on. So this one right here, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so we've got the two.
You want to zoom in?
One there. Yeah, let's get right on this because I want to make sure that we're on the exact location here. So he said south of 16?
It's at 16,
yep,
correct.
So right here. So that's the rotation. Looks like Otsego there would be the next community in that path. Right here is the rotation that we're looking at. Looks like it's moving straight east over towards that corridor of 146 and 16. I can see Rio right now kind of in between these two. So Rio, you're still going to be there right now. But what I'm seeing is that rotation to the south of you. And then there's also that rotation to the north. And as we kind of look at both of them, it still looks like this has a little bit better broad rotation, but these are both moving in this direction. Going to pretty much both move over Fountain Prairie and get closer to Columbus. Why don't we get back to the actual radar and look at and just put the tornado warning on here just to give people a better idea. So there's your tornado warning. There are two areas here. We do have that strong cell still. I don't want to ignore that. But yeah, this is a good idea. Let's zoom out. Let's kind of give people, there you go. So we've got that nice line that is moving in towards Madison. Remember, this portion here is actually non-tornadic. So if you're watching in Waunakee, if you're watching in Lake Wisconsin area, non-tornadic. You're going to be dealing with a severe thunderstorm, so you need to make sure you're away from windows. But I do think portions of northern Dane are going to be dealing with more of that damaging wind threat, where the tornado threat is going to be closer towards Beaver Dam, and you can see moving over towards Portage. I'm going to step off here. Catherine, what do you have for any updates right now?
Nothing new as of right now.
You have nothing new?
Nothing new.
Okay.
I'm going to start talking to him and see if I can get anything new from Tim.
Okay. Okay, so what I'm trying to get some updates here. What I don't want to do is, if this is continuing to weaken, I'm not seeing anything that is glistening at the eye. I have this one kind of near Columbus right now, and then it gets a little log jammed. There's a lot going on near Fox Lake. I will tell you that there's some very strong winds in here, regardless if there's a tornado or not. We've got these two areas of storms kind of colliding, but I do think it's good to know that we have this tornado warning until 1:15 in the morning, and it does include Columbus. It's not a bad thing. So I just want to focus to see a couplet. I don't see a couplet. We don't have any information coming in from emergency managers. That's also a good sign. Once we get that confirmation, that's when you know things have gone from radar indicated to a much more intense type of event here. So it doesn't sound like we have any rotation update from Tim out in Milwaukee.
Yeah, so no TDS or anything we can make out yet.
Yep, okay, that's fine. Let's get another track on this thing. Let's go back to radar, and we know, let's put radar on here. So it looks like these, so I mean, it's in this Boeing line of storms here coming to Columbus. So
Yeah, main rotation's just west of Columbus, running along Highway 60.
Yeah, so let's just pull from here in Columbus. Let's just pull it short. Just go through the Columbus-Lowellville area. So I'd pull around there. Well, you go through Columbus, actually, so we'll do another, because this won't include Columbus once you push it. Yeah, so let's just...
So go back and redo.
Yeah, redo it. Pop it on the west side of Columbus here, just so we can include Columbus in this. So yeah, just right around here. Start right here and then pull it through. Because it looks like that rotation's a little bit embedded in the line, not actually on the start. There you go. So this is that line of storms that would bring the potential for a tornado. Again, we know this is going to be on top of Columbus, so please be in your shelter right now in Columbus as this potential tornado does move in here. You can see North Lowellville area around 1251, Portland 1253, Waterloo at 1254, Watertown at right around 1 o'clock, and Milford, if it made it there, at around 1:06. Those are the communities that would potentially be in the path. The National Weather Service is going to have to make a call here on what they're going to do, because it does seem like these storms are moving a little faster. It's not a bad thing. Like I always say, once you get a confirmed tornado damage, they're going to be issuing warnings fast. They're going to be going downstream of these. I'm not seeing them jump on this next warning, which is not necessarily a bad thing right now. Again, I'm just what I'm doing here, I'm just trying to get some updates. I just don't want to miss a couplet forming. Again, I have a little one developing right now near, you could definitely see the swirl in Columbus area. And I think we have some very intense winds, actually, in Rio, to me. Rio's very intense winds. I don't want to ignore the fact that looks like Lodi over to DeForest, we also have some very intense winds. Lodi over to DeForest. Let's take a look at that. So you want to pop on velocities? From what I was looking at off screen, I was looking for very intense winds. We know there's the tornado warning there. I think there were some stronger winds kind of in this vicinity. So that is the part of the severe thunderstorm warning in DeForest. So I would say DeForest, we are going to be dealing with some fairly strong winds, 60-mile-an-hour plus winds, as that line is going to be moving over Sun Prairie. Why don't we put on velocities are struggling right now to catch my eye. Why don't we go over to just plain old radar? You want to go back to radar? Yeah, I mean, this is fine. But yeah, radar's good. So I'm a little interested in this right here. Any type of couplet, any type of inlet is never a great sign. So this is going to be over towards, I'm not saying that's anything, but it's over towards Cross Plains. You can see this is now moving into Wanakee, Sun Prairie. This portion here is a severe thunderstorm. I had picked up about 50 to 60 mile-an-hour winds into Forest. So you need to make sure you're away from windows in that area. And that is that severe storm as it continues to move closer towards Madison. We are still, you can clearly see this too. You look at the red cut here, and then you see how it's kind of choppy.
So we may have an update for you. I think they're extending this warning.
They are going to extend the warning.
So
do they have any confirmation of the warning?
We know, no, not yet. It just, we know that they did extend the warning. This is for Columbia, Dane, Dodge, Jefferson, parts of that. It is capable of producing both tornadoes and extensive straight line wind damage. Yeah. Oh, they were located near Columbus, moving southeast at 40 miles per hour.
All right, so let's get the velocities on there. Let's find this and let's track this new track out here. First, actually, before we even do that, why don't let's zoom in and get, so Marshall's going to be in this. Let's go, that's fine. You can go back to it, zoom in a little bit more. Let's see what communities we can get on in here. Okay, so this now does include Sun Prairie. It includes Cottage Grove. It includes anything along 94, now Lake Mills, Waterloo. All of your sirens are going off at this moment. So this does not, I think this is going to be important. Let's actually go over to Madison really quick, because it's going to probably be going off in Madison. We have a storm that was located near Columbus, working to the south and east. Madison and the Beltline is not under this tornado warning. That does not include McFarland. It does not include Oregon. It doesn't include Middleton, and it doesn't include Wanakee. This is a strong storm on the west side of Madison, but it is not tornadic. You do not need to be in your complete shelter in your basement for areas on the west side of Madison. You need to be away from windows, but you do not need to be in your shelter in Madison or in Cross Plains. We need to be in our shelter right now in Sun Prairie, Cottage Grove, Marshall, Deerfield, and over towards Lake Mills. This is out until 1:15 in the morning. let's go ahead and put radar on actually first. Let's see what we can see here. So this is going to be the leading edge. I'm trying to wonder where they said it was located near Columbus.
Correct. Moving southeast.
Okay, so it actually doesn't look like this is helping us to put on, we just need to put on velocities at this point and find it. Because what I think is happening, folks, at home is the tornado is embedded in the rain, and you can see it right there. So,
which has been the case that we've been seeing pretty much.
It looks like we have multiple. Where are they saying this is exactly located at? So the green is going to be inbound and red is outbound. So that
in that little area, it looks like.
That to me makes sense, right? Because you have inbound velocities, outbound velocities. So that is counterclockwise rotation. So that is a potential near East Bristol area. Looks like this is south of Columbus. Is that where they have it located? Yeah. What they said, a couple miles south of Columbus?
Yep, located near Columbus, moving southeast at 40 miles per hour.
All right, so it's that cell right there. You can see this is 151.
Rotation is strengthening north of Marshall.
North of Marshall. Let's zoom out a little bit so you can see York. So yep, there's Marshall. So there's the rotation.
Yep, that would be it.
Okay, so let's put the why don't you scroll this? I want to see exactly how this thing's moving. Why don't you go back in time a tiny bit? I want to watch this. It's hard. There it is. Yeah.
Looks like it's just kind of getting there.
Yeah. It looks like it's moving this location. So York, Marshall, Portland.
Portland.
Yeah. Okay. So let's zoom out a little bit and track that.
Okay.
So let's track it. I want to be very specific. What I'm trying to do right now, Catherine, is I'm trying to pick up why Sun Prairie is under this tornado warning.
Right.
Because I'm seeing this movement southeast. So I think York, Marshall, and Portland is going to be the three communities here where you have a lot of roads coming together here. You got 89, you have 73, you got 151. So yeah, right there. I think that's going to be a good track for a potential tornado. All right, so these are going to be areas that are in the imminent threat here. The cell that we see has the best rotation. This is going to be communities in the threat. Now, there's a lot of sirens going off. I want you to take precautions, but this is just going to try to highlight exactly where we are seeing rotation for you.
And we also do have an here. It is part of Dane, which is already under, a warning, but it looks like they extended it a bit until 1:30. Okay. This would be for Dane County and South Central and Jefferson County, so it just extended it.
Is this a new cell they're tracking?
It looks like it's pushing out. Should we go back to radar and see?
So I'm seeing a lot of rotation. I actually see, I see another one in between Columbus and Sun Prairie, the one just north of Marshall.
Okay.
I see that one near Waterloo. Yeah, so I think that's the one we were tracking.
The new one would be for Madison area, Sun Prairie. So when we were questioning Sun Prairie, this is why.
Are they also, my question here is, are they also watching anything near Rio? Because I've got two separate tornado warnings right now. Yeah, here's what I'm going to focus on.
Okay.
Listen, at home, everybody, there is a lot of random rotation in the atmosphere. I have 6 areas of rotation. So if you are under a tornado warning right now, be in your basement. I think we're on the right cell. Let's focus on this one. York, this is going to be at 12:50. Marshall, 12:54. That gives you about 7 minutes in Marshall. The high school around 12:54. Medina, 12:55. Holy Family Catholic School, that's going to be at 12:57. And Waterloo, this gets there at 12:57 as well. So Waterloo and Marshall are going to, and York are going to be the communities that are in this path of the potential tornado.
So we are also watching some rotation developing west of Middleton.
West of Middleton.
West of Middleton.
Okay, let's get over to that right now. Sorry, I got to see it up close. Okay, west of Middleton. Yep, I see that right now. It looks like it's developing near Cross Plains. Okay, yep. Now we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for that cell as well. So let's, you know what, Catherine?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell everybody at home right now, there's a lot happening as we speak. So let's just start at square one.
Okay.
Let's go to all the warnings and the watches and zoom out so everybody can see what's going on. There's a lot. So what we have and what I've picked up is we have a severe thunderstorm warning for all of Madison now, because since we've been on air, this area was not under any type of warning. I'm watching a small area of rotation near Cross Plains. Right now, it looks like broad rotation, and it's not warned, but I will let you know there could be some type of funnel cloud on the west side of Madison. This is a strong storm that is developing damaging winds. There are two areas that I'm watching right now of rotation. I have one that's about to move into Marshall, and then there was another one that was near Rio, and that's that area that's going to be moving over closer towards Beaver Dam.
So we do, sorry, John, we do have the tornado warning. Tornado is radar indicated.
Where at?
For Dodge to 115. Let's see, a severe squall line capable of producing both tornadoes and extensive straight line wind damage was located along a line extending from near Fall River to Columbus.
Okay. So let's go ahead and put on radar. Let's zoom back out. Let's get radar on. Looks like sirens are now going off here.
You can hear that.
So all right. So I'm gonna look here really quick. You see this? This is an area you can see it near Middleton. This is a couplet. I know this is not tornado warned at the moment, but I also want everybody. It's going to be best practice. I'm just going to go ahead and say it, just to make sure. There's a lot of swirl in the atmosphere. Please get into your shelter in the Middleton area, just because what I'm seeing on radar right now with that inflow, to me, is also going to back up the potential tornado that I'm pretty sure are talking about right now. So please get in your shelter, Middleton. It's going to be best practice. Catherine, can we go ahead and get all the warnings on here? I want to make sure I'm not missing any tornado warning. So I think this will actually help. Let's get so we have another
thunderstorm warning.
So we have another thunderstorm warning that has just been issued. This one is now out for Dodgeville. You can see it's south of Sauk City. This is all going to be on that same line of storms that is moving through Madison and south. So we don't have a tornado warning yet in western portions of Madison, but I've seen rotation. There's some type of inflow. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a funnel cloud right now on the west side of Madison. Two tornado warnings. We have the one near Rio in Columbus, and we have the one that was developing just on the north side of Marshall, and that's really our main threat here for a tornado. Why don't we put radar on and overlap warnings on the same screen to give everyone at home an opportunity to see what's really going on here. So you can see, back to the warnings. There we go. So this is going to be the radar. We'll pause it. We'll get the warnings on here so everyone can see this. You can see there's a lot, but we can hear the sirens going off of Madison. I've got that rotation here in the severe thunderstorm on the west side. You've got damaging wind threats in Dodgeville. We're going to take it one by one. Dodgeville south, 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's going to move through Mineral Point. We'll come west. We'll come east a little bit into Mount Horeb, into Madison. The storm system, in my opinion, gets a little stronger as you roll east. You're going to be looking at 60-plus mile-an-hour winds coming into Madison right now. I've got a little bit of rotation in Mineral Point, but in Middleton, but there's not a tornado warning for that small rotation. The two areas of rotation are going to be near Marshall and up towards Columbus and Beaver Dam. So these two areas up here are tornado warnings, and you need to be in your shelter in northeast portions of Dane County. DeForest, it is passed, so I think you're okay in DeForest, but areas just off to the east of DeForest near Waterloo, Deerfield, Sun Prairie, these are areas that need to be in their shelter right now. So what I want to do, because there's two back-to-back warnings, why don't we cut this? Why don't we zoom out a little bit through this cell, right on 151? Why don't we go right through this and then pull it a little bit down to the south? Let's track this out. Yeah, let's track this out, because this is where we have that rotation going on right now near Deerfield and Watertown. So let's go right through the middle, because a lot of these have been embedded tornado threats. So there we go. We're going to track the worst of this thunderstorm out. And you can see these are the communities that are going to be where we've been picking up that potential tornado. It has been radar indicated. As far as we know, Catherine, unless you have any updates.
No, radar indicated still. It looks like rotation's a bit broad.
That's good. That's a good word.
Let's see. We're getting a southward surge across Dodge County right now, so we should see an uptick in winds there. And I think that's pretty much it. I do know it looks like some areas got hit pretty hard up north from these storms earlier.
We're seeing a lot of damage come in from
Correct.
In Green Lake. So we were doing a Facebook Live before we came on here. I'm sure this has been updated, but Green Lake County and Fond du Lac had 12,000 people without power. So we knew that these were really producing heavy winds, strong winds, 60 to 70, maybe even 80 mile per hour winds in that area. So that's why we wanted to take this seriously, because we saw that, like Catherine was saying. I didn't want to ignore this. Let's go through this track. Again, this is for the tornado warning, so please be in your shelter in any of these locations. Once you get to Johnson's Creek and Jefferson, this is more best practice, and even Watertown. But these are the ones in the danger right now. Cottage Grove, 1256. Marshall, 1258. Waterloo, 102. Deerfield, 104. Cambridge, 110. And Lake Mills at around 112. I've seen quite a bit of rotation out there tonight. It's good news that we haven't seen confirmed damage, or we haven't seen a spotter pick it up. These are pretty populated areas, so typically if you can get a tornado with the amount of lightning we have seen, you're going to get a report out of this. So I would love it to stay radar indicated tonight. Do they have any, do they plan? We're going to take Middleton, Cam? All right, we're going to take Beltline and University as this storm's rolling through the west side of Madison right now. As you can just see, the lightning just absolutely light up the sky. Still the truck trying to move through, but we're looking at that 50 to 60 mile an hour wind roll through town right now. It looks like, to be honest with you folks, everybody's going to get this thunderstorm. It doesn't seem like any way around it. You're going to at least have 50 mile an hour winds, if not 60, 70. So it is going to be something where you don't want to be caught out there driving. You want to make sure that you're away from windows tonight. That's going to be my main concern, is getting away from the windows, especially in Madison right now. Madison is not under a tornado warning, but just get away from windows, get to a lower level in your house, and we should be able to make it through no problem with that 50, 60 mile per hour wind, as long as you're inside. All right, so let's step back out. I know there's a ton going on and everyone wants to see. Let's reset. Let's go just straight warnings, so everyone can see every single warning out here. I don't want to not include somebody. You can clearly see we've got quite a bit of them. You've got the tornado warnings for Sun Prairie, more Waterloo, more Lake Mills. I did not see any sign of rotation in Sun Prairie. The threat to me was a little bit more on the north side of Sun Prairie. So DeForest, I'm not really sure if warnings are going off in DeForest, but the threat has passed in DeForest. The
tornado warning was just canceled for Dodge.
For Dodge County. So this portion here? Mm-hmm. Okay, so they're starting to cancel this here. I still want everyone to be in a shelter, especially Deerfield and Waterloo near Sun Prairie. But there's obviously severe threats all over the place, and Lake Mills especially, and Waterloo. These are the two communities I do not want you to put your guard down, as we're still watching rotation. What are we looking at for updates here, Catherine?
That's the latest. Severe thunderstorm warning still possible. A tornado, wind 60 mile per hour, and some hail for Dodge, Washington until 1:45, and that would be the latest.
So I see very strong winds. I do not see, when I'm looking right now, I'm not seeing much rotation. Just being frank with everybody. I think right now.
Do you want to go to velocities, John?
Yeah, we can go to velocities. I've been looking at velocities off air just to try to stay completely up to date on this. I am not seeing anything that is glaring to the eye. I see a lot of straight line wind damage. We've got some type of interaction here. So I want just so everyone can see what's going on. I just think it's over here. I mean, whatever this is, the threat is done. So,
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, there's, if you're watching right now, even in Sun Prairie and over towards DeForest, I'm not seeing any type of rotation there at all. The rotation is where that red and green come together here. So most of this is working into Jefferson County now, near Watertown. But it's not anything, like I told you, I don't see anything that says this is a tornado. So that's good. They've obviously been spinning up all over the place tonight. So it is going to be best to stay in your shelter, but just one-on-one talking to you. I know you're watching right now in your basement. I think things are looking better now than they were 15 minutes ago when we broke in on air. So that's obviously a good sign. These have been embedded type rotation events, which has been very difficult because it's in the middle of the rain. And that's really hard to track, and you can get really caught off guard with these. So that inside that rain shaft near Watertown is where we've had some rotation. So if you want to just turn, is there any way to overlap the warnings here?
We can do this.
Oh, and so they're going to continue that warning there? Or is this a new warning?
I think they may have been new to 145.
Where are they seeing this located?
So, okay, wait. We are continuing. This is just brand new coming in.
Okay.
We are continuing the tornado warning. Radar indicated once again for Dane, Dodge, Jefferson till 1:15. We know that at basically 1 a.m. a severe squall line capable of producing both tornadoes and extensive straight line wind damage was located near Waterloo, moving east at 40 miles per hour.
Near Waterloo. So let's get right in on that.
So should we put...
Here, I just want to see. I want to see exactly where that is.
Be in this area. Moving east.
Yep. Yep, I can see it now. So near Waterloo, it's really broad rotation. I kind of see it coming together here a little bit. Looks like to me, I think Watertown is the next spot.
Okay.
So,
sorry, John. So we do have a spotter report, not confirmed, but it's something to talk about at least. I mean, a rotating wall cloud 3 miles north of Verona. Clear, lowering just past close to the location there. So
that's what I was. So when I was on air earlier and I had that thing, when it stuck out to me, that was, yeah, I could see it right now. All right, so let's zoom out. You could take, okay, so this is what I was looking at earlier. So everybody, remember when I was talking, what was that, 10, 15 minutes ago, it piqued my interest. It's that right there. And I can just point it out, and that's what we've been watching on the west side of Middleton, and it's inflow. This is the first inflow that I've seen, and I already know that this is the wall cloud that we're picking up. And so what you get here is you have that inflow, and your tornado or wall cloud's going to be there in between Verona and Fitchburg. That would be over towards Oregon. Now, typically they would issue a warning on a wall cloud. So we'll see what happens out of that. It's like I was telling you earlier, I think it's just best practice to be in your shelter in all of Madison. There's a lot of rotation. We have wall clouds. Typically, you're not dealing with wall clouds. When you are, you want to make sure you're taking it very seriously.
I think if you, even at this point, since it is so late and a lot of people are sleeping, I think it's just a good idea to maybe call someone that you know and make sure that, I don't know, they know what's going on, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, I know, we all know someone have loved ones right now that are within this area, pretty much. So I think it's just a good idea to make sure that they're aware, since it is so late. And this is obviously one of the worst times that, you don't want to be dealing with severe weather like this. So just a good idea, once again, to find your safe place. And if you do have underground shelter, a basement, a safe room, that is always the good place to go. Just an interior room, even if you don't have a basement, that's, your second best option. The lowest level, just stay away from windows. Do not try to find these storms. A lot of them have been rain wrapped. So you would not be able to even see them if you did try. The fact that it's dark, it's honestly just a bad scenario. So just stay inside, get out of any auditorium or warehouses. Mobile homes are not safe. That is one of the worst places you could actually be, that or outside. So just go inside, make sure that you are safe. Once again, staying in the lowest level away from windows as long as this goes on. So a lot of these warnings are going on for another 30, 45 minutes. Yeah,
let's go ahead, and this is a tough one, but I think what might be best is, because this whole line is producing severe weather, we haven't done this yet. Let's zoom out and do one large track of this entire line. So let's zoom out quite a bit and put actual radar on. Yep, right there. And let's track this for communities that are coming up here. Monroe, I know Monroe, Janesville, you guys are probably all watching. So yeah, let's take this and just pull it through our southern viewing area here for the communities that are going to be moving in next. So here you go, Fitchburg, right on the doorstep. That is the area where there's actually some rotation. That's 104. Stoughton coming in at around 111. So obviously the Oregon area, I know you're not showing up, but right around 111. 112 for Edgerton, Darlington 124, Janesville at around 136, Rock 141, Clinton 150, and Beloit, once it gets down closer to the border, it'll be around 151. This will exit our viewing area right around 2 o'clock. All right, so let's go ahead and focus still on those tornado warnings. I want to make sure that we continue to track these. I know we had one, so let's just track this. Let's track this cell right here through Waterloo and just pull it right to the edge of that tornado warning. So the start of this here and then pull it through. Let's get it a little bit more back out towards Marshall, just so we can make sure that we include every community that is going to be in the path. So right at the beginning of that near Marshall, and then we'll pull it through. There you go. And then we'll pull it through that. Yep, that's good. So these are going to be the communities that are going to be in the path of that potential tornado. The only confirmed report that we have from a spotter is in Madison, which is not actually tornado warned. I think that's important to understand. Cottage Grove is going to be there at 106. Please continue to stay in your shelter. If your town pops up, you need to be in your shelter. Waterloo 108, Deerfield 112. London area at 115. You can see Lake Mills crossing over 94 at 118. Lake Ripley at 119. Oakland at 122. Johnson Creek 125. Jefferson 127. And Fort Atkinson, if it makes it there, you're not tornado warned right now in Fort Atkinson, but if it makes it to Jefferson and Fort Atkinson, it'll get there to around 1:30 in the morning. We have had some rotation. I haven't seen anything unbelievable, any couplet that I could confirm a tornado on the ground, but obviously the National Weather Service is seeing enough to where they want to continue to issue this tornado warning. So let's go ahead and see if we can find anything on velocities. Check out velocities right now, just something that, maybe we can pinpoint an area. Have they said, I'm assuming we're getting closer, it's got to be somewhere over here in Watertown where it comes together. Where are they saying this is located, and what are the updates?
Velocities increasing west of Lebanon and south of Kleiman.
Okay.
That's honestly it. That's the. Let me talk to Tim and ask if there's anything new.
Sounds good. Let's see if I can get a pinpointed location here on this one. All right, so I've got. It looks like the worst of this has already passed through Marshall. If you guys are watching in Marshall and Sun Prairie. Sun Prairie, good news. I don't see anything in Sun Prairie. I'm not sure if your warnings are still going off.
We did just get a new, a new severe thunderstorm warning. This one is for Greene and Lafayette until 1:45 in the morning. This is for hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds.
And where is this?
For a severe thunderstorm warning for Greene and Lafayette counties.
We just got in Greene and Lafayette. Okay, let's go ahead and track that out. Let's get back to the start here and update this warning. That's why we kind of track the entire thing out here. So you can see Darlington, Gratiot, New Glarus, Monroe. We are going to be issuing this entire line of storms out over the next 30 minutes to 45 minutes, as we've obviously been producing about 60-mile-per-hour winds through this entire event here as it continues to move south through Darlington. Let's go ahead and put on radar and then just track out these two new communities that have been added here. You can see that Boeing line here just south of Dodgeville over towards Fitchburg. You still kind of see that little couplet there closer to the Fitchburg area. That's close to Oregon. Yep, so we'll pull it through. Here are the communities that have just been added to the new severe thunderstorm warning here. Mineral Point 116, New Glarus at 119, Monticello 126, Darlington 132, Monroe right around 139. You can see Shoalsburg at 143. And then what these communities are going to be, West Point would be at
We do have something new to talk about here. A tornado warning, radar indicated for Jefferson. This would be till 1:45 in the morning. We know these are, let's see, a TDS north of Johnson Creek area. So should we go to that?
A TDS?
Yes. So it looks like.
Let me read this text. Keep talking.
Okay, so this tornado warning, once again, it is radar indicated. So that's for Jefferson area till 1:45 in the morning. This is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado that was located along a line extending from near Watertown to Johnson Creek to Jefferson. This is moving east at 45 miles per hour.
So where my confusion was is they had Sun Prairie and Marshall warned, but to me, that wasn't the actual tornado warning. I've been seeing this tornado warning south of Watertown, and this Boeing line moving over Johnson Creek. It moved over Lake Mills, and you can see it now. Let's put the velocities on, actually. I see this area just south of Watertown. Is that what they have here? There it is. So what I'm looking at is right here. Is this is what I'm assuming what they're looking at. How far away do they have this from water? That's got to be it.
Yeah, that's got to be it.
All right, so I want everybody on 26. We now have the correct location. I think there was some confusion. So there was Sun Prairie, there was Deerfield. Sun Prairie, you guys are completely in the clear. This is the focus right now, which there's possibly a tornado on the ground, or they said it's still radar
indicated. Did
you tell me was there a TDS?
Yeah, TDS north of Johnson Creek.
Okay, so we're looking at a couplet here. Watertown, let's see what else we got. Ebenezer area, please be in your shelter. There's also another community. This is just moving north of 94. Pipersville, please be in your shelter. Also, anywhere in Watertown, you need to be in your shelter right now because this is the best couplet we've seen all night. There is at least some type of wall cloud development. It's going to be very difficult to see. But is there any way to scroll it back one or two? I want to see the exact movement of this cell as it goes over 26. Let's just kind of see where. So, yeah, it looks like it moved in that. Yeah, let's see exactly where this was moving here. Yeah, straight east. Just south of 26. Yeah, there it is. So I don't know if the sirens are still going off west of this area, but we do not have a tornado warning. Why don't we literally zoom as far in as we can? So there's your couple. It looks like there's nothing here. Just Highway 26, but you can see that area. So why don't we zoom out a little bit? Keep going, keep going, keep going. And I want to just
track it.
Yeah. Why don't we maybe a little bit more? And let's just do this small area right here.
Okay.
Just go ahead and track that small area and go east with it because that's what we're going to be looking at. Yeah. So there's your tornado or possible tornado right along Highway 26. Again, this looks like a pretty rural spot in between these highways. I have Sport and Spine Clinic. Again, I don't know where this is located, but 1:11 a.m. Ebenezer, like we were talking about, you need to be in your shelter in Ebenezer at 1:12. Valley School in that area at 1:12, and Watertown Municipal at 1:12. So looks like that Sport is going to be on the south side of Watertown. I think it's going to be best practice right now to take this one very seriously. This is the strongest rotation we've seen all night, located just south of Watertown. Can we get a specific location? Pull out the ruler. Let's see exactly how far away that is from Watertown. And that's okay if I just want to see how far away this is.
Going where? Where do you want to go?
I just want to see. I just want to get an exact location. And unless did the National Weather Service give us an exact location? It's 4 miles south of Watertown is where this has been located. So, okay, let's zoom out. Let's get the warning on. The new warnings. I don't think we've even seen the new warnings yet. So just put the warnings on. Let's zoom out. And I don't want anyone to ignore this either. Johnson's Creek area, we are also dealing with a Boeing line of storms, which could also be producing a tornado. So anything along that freeway near Jefferson, Johnson's Creek, we have a Boeing line of storms, which can also produce tornadoes.
That TDS is still there. An employee from Johnson Creek is estimating 70-mile-per-hour winds in that area.
Okay, so the TDS looks like that's for more of that straight line wind damage?
Yeah.
Okay, so so you can see the area that we're really focused on right here is Jefferson County. When I was looking at it last, you have a couplet, which is common. You're on the north side of a bow line. So you can go ahead and just turn on, let's see if
radar?
Yeah, I mean, radar's pretty good. I mean, you can see the Boeing here. So what I'm looking for in a potential bow line damaging winds and a tornado is, so you can see it here. Actually, that's a better scan.
Yeah.
You see the cup, and then where you would have the tornado is where you have that counterclockwise inlet. And that's exactly where that tornado is. But the bow line itself will still produce damaging winds. So that is now, so you can almost imagine this rotation here. The rotation drives in just south of Watertown, but the bow line into Fort Atkinson and Jefferson is still going to do quite a bit of damage. You can see some inflow here coming into the back. Let's come out a little and zoom out. And here we go. Let's take the middle of this right here. And I don't want to go too far. I just want to go through Jefferson into Whitewater. I want to time that out specifically right there, just so we can make sure that, there you go. No, let's not go that far. Let's go right about there. Yep. All right, so you can see Fort Atkinson around 118. Economawalk area at 122, Whitewater at around 129. And then Waukesha, and those areas are going to be in Milwaukee's viewing area at 143. So this is about to exit our viewing area, move in towards Milwaukee. Do they have any updates? Do we have any updates on damage, Catherine?
Not really. I mean, damage something a little bit earlier. There was something Cross Plains area, it looks like.
Okay.
Thunderstorm, wind damage. All we really know is multiple trees were down on power lines.
And that's in Cross Plains?
That was in Cross Plains.
Have we got an update in, is there a way to clear this just so we can look at the cell that is, yeah, so you know what, I think this is a good time. We've been talking a lot about where the threats are.
Rotation is going right along Highway 18 currently, west of Concord.
In Jefferson County?
Yes.
Okay, so let's actually go out.
Okay.
Let's just, I think it's good because, you want to turn the warnings on, actually?
Sure.
So I can already see what's going on. This is all past. I think it's clear. I want to clear some people here. I know some people are on edge. There are a lot of warnings going on. Madison, all of Dane, let me just make this clear. If you live in Dane County, you do not have a tornado threat at all. That has passed. There's no tornado threat in Dane County. You can come out of your basement at this moment. All of Dodge County, you are cleared. If you live in Dodge County, you are cleared. The focus now is that storm just south of Watertown, moving through Jefferson County, where we still have that tornado warning. We have the strongest line of storms now moving in southern Dane through Oregon, New Glarus, Monroe, and Gratiot, and then Mineral Point. You need to be away from windows. This entire area, get away from windows as we were looking at 60+ mile-per-hour winds.
Yeah,
no tornado threat.
And we do know this could be a long duration severe event coming for the rest of the area because we are hearing a lot of 70-mile-per-hour winds being reported.
Where are those 70-mile-per-hour winds being reported?
It just says Tim, he just said saying 70-mile-per-hour winds. It looks like anywhere that's getting damage in a lot of the areas, like in Dodge County, just what these storms were producing before.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean,
it just looks like a long event is what he was saying. Yeah,
it looks like the squall line ended up developing and strengthening as the evening went on here, as we're still looking at this line of storms. Thanks for keeping up with this, Catherine. I know you got a lot on your plate. Why don't we put on radar and put it into motion just to give people an idea of where the storms are going next. I also can see it's blobbing a little bit more out here in Richland Center. This is non-severe at the moment. Strong thunderstorm. Why don't we put on lightning here too? Okay. Let's put on some lightning. Wow. Yeah, I mean, there's just absolute incredible amounts of lightning. So why don't, you know what, I think we haven't done this yet. Let's track the rest of this storm system out. You can go ahead and pause it. All right, we have another severe thunderstorm warning. Tornadoes possible for Dane, Jefferson, Kenosha, Milwaukee area. For us, for our viewing area, this would also include Rock and Walworth until 2:45. So this looks like it's this Boeing. I can already see it right now. Why don't you pause it right on this? I think what we're looking at is this little bow here. Right. Is that what we're looking at? I think right now? So, yeah. Yeah, so I can see a little pop here. Sometimes I'm looking for like a little punch out of the storm, so I can see that. Also, so it looks like that's going to bring some damaging wind. Anytime you have that pop, it can give you more rotation on the edges of it, which can also produce a tornado. I think it's a great time to see this. Sauk City, Reedsburg, Portage, done. This is all over. Your night is over. I do want to say, too, real quick, we do have, just from what we were talking about earlier, reported tornado damage in western Dane County. We do have? We do. Cross Plains is the most specific that they can say that they've received right now. Okay. Yeah, so we had picked up that couplet. It wasn't warned. Correct. But whenever you can see a inflow, yeah, it kind of just caught my eye. It caught our eye earlier, and that's why we wanted you guys to be safe. You know, it's always good if there's any type of rotation or wall cloud, you might as well just take precautions. I hope everybody's okay in western Dane County out there. So you could see this is the nastiest line of storms here. This is actually our tornado. You still see that one's bowing pretty good out here. This is also producing a tornado warning. Do you want to put on velocities here before this exits our viewing area? Let's see if we can pick up some velocities here. I'm trying to. Is that in Johnson? You want to put into motion here? Sure. Thank you. Yeah, so there's that rotation.
So
just south here of 26. That last scan was weird. I think it's more tight right there, tight, and then it fell apart here just north of Johnson Creek a little. Still seeing quite a bit of broad rotation. Yeah, I could see the couplet and then broke. So there's a scan before, and then it kind of came down here towards Johnson Creek. Do you want to put the rest of that warning on?
Over on top of this? Yeah,
well, let's see if we can see it. So that is there's that area of storms that they have warned. Did they have warned this all the way through Jefferson?
Yeah, it's more south.
Okay. Okay, so you have this warned area here. It's now pretty much through the central part of the viewing area near Jefferson, and this is going to be moving here right over 94, that potential tornado. So I want everybody still to be in their shelter. There's
a good chance. Sorry, we are getting some more information right now. It looks like northwest of Concord area looks to be like a specific place where people need to be worried about right now. One is on the interstate. When I say one, I'm talking about likely a tornado, and there are likely 3 occurring right now.
3 areas of rotation?
Correct.
In that same cell? Oh,
yeah. Likely 3 tornadoes occurring right now is the latest. Another tornado warning. We just continued it.
And where did they continue that to? Looks like it's just south of Oconomowoc, where it's very nasty.
Yeah.
Kind of near
Jefferson, moving east at 50 miles per hour.
Yeah, so this is going to move over the National Weather Service, very close to the National Weather Service here. We're looking at some pretty significant rotation here just on the north side of Sullivan, which is actually where this is. I think it's getting our radar's struggling to pick it up, because when I look at my radar, my velocities off screen, this is a little bit tough to see. It looks like some of the worst rotations actually here in the middle of this, but I'm not seeing it on this type of velocity. So, okay, so where did they say this was exactly located, Catherine?
So, for what, the new warning?
Yeah, where do we have for the new warning?
So, we're still in the same area, pretty much.
Okay.
I think they just... Okay, tornado, radar confirmed, southeast of Concord. Looks like just south of the interstate there.
South of the interstate, moving, where is it moving to?
It looks like it is moving southeast.
Okay, so that is 1 mile south of 94, and they have a confirmed tornado on the ground. That is in Concord, and it's moving over just south of Oconomowoc here. It's going to be moving just south of 94, north of Sullivan. So Sullivan is actually where this is located. So the tornado is here. I wonder if you can zoom in and find it in here. Yeah, it's right here.
I see.
Our radar for some reason is having a glitch. I can see the glitch here. So to be honest with you, our velocities just aren't going to help us. We're having a glitch with the system.
Should we go back to radar?
Yeah, I don't know if it's too close to radar or what's going on, but it's just embedded in here.
Here we go.
Yeah, I could see the rotation in the actual radar itself, but the velocities weren't working, because when I was looking off screen, it was very clear that it's here. So there's your tornado warning, but this is actually going to be exiting our viewing area. So this is completely in Milwaukee's viewing area now.
Yeah.
So I think that's important for us. I wanted to completely focus on where that threat was before I let all of you who are watching go. And now we know exactly where it's located. It is located just north of the actual Sullivan, where we have the radar and the National Weather Service, and that is going to be continuing to move in towards Milwaukee. That's a confirmed tornado in eastern Jefferson County. Threats are done now for Dane County, Sauk City, Portage. This is done. It's all, there are no threats. Even Richland Center, Mauston, no severe weather. You guys are completely fine. You can go back to bed. Beaver Dam, go back to bed. Like I said, Madison, Fitchburg, Verona, Cross Plains, Middleton, go back to bed.
So, I mean, we have another tip that something else could be spinning possibly southeast of Fort Atkinson area.
Okay. And which cell are we looking at here? Why don't we put on radar? I think radar for us has been working better than our velocities on locating this. So where did they say this was located, Catherine?
So spinning up southeast of Fort Atkinson.
Okay, so let's find Fort Atkinson. Let's go just to the south here. So they're saying this is embedded in this. And which direction is this moving here?
They have not said yet. I think this is just brand new.
Brand new
just
information?
We're just, yeah.
Okay.
Just trying to figure this out.
All right, I can see it. It's near Whitewater is what I'm seeing right now.
Okay.
Because I don't see anything in Fort Atkinson, so do they have a specific location?
No, just another something spinning.
So I see something
southeast.
near Whitewater.
I guess yeah, it would be Whitewater because
yeah. So I'm seeing
sense.
it. I'm seeing it in Whitewater. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm seeing the rotation right here in Whitewater. It's not a tornado yet. Why don't we zoom out and for the folks watching right now in Edgerton, Janesville, Beloit, we do have rotation showing up in Whitewater. But if we zoom out, let's go ahead and zoom out here and just track this out.
There's a good chance this could be a tornado warning coming soon downstream.
This is going to be right here?
Likely.
Okay, so why don't we zoom out further? There we go. Let's take this severe thunderstorm and pull it through Janesville and through Beloit. So we'll pull it right here, and let's pull it through there because we have not tracked it. There you go. Yep, there you go. All right, so we timed this news thunderstorm out. We haven't done this yet for Janesville here. You can see Koshkonong at 129, Milton area at 132, Janesville 135, Rock at 139, Beloit at 149, and then, of course, now we're starting to get up in towards northern Illinois. So it looks like Beloit around 149, that Boeing line of storms would move in here. Our velocities have been tough around this. I don't know if we want to try and locate that on our map. I can see it on my map.
So rotation is starting up east of Whitewater area.
Yep. Okay. So we picked up the right location. It's right on top. I can see it right on top of Whitewater. So right now, Whitewater, that means that this is going to be Walworth County. So our next possible tornado that we are watching is Walworth County tonight as it continues to move southeast at 45 miles per hour. And let's zoom all the way out. Let's see the warnings that we have right now for the entire viewing area. You can see we still have that tornado warning in Jefferson, but I'll tell you right now that 95% of this is done. They just have their hands full, clearly, at the National Weather Service. That line of storms that has been producing damage through parts of Madison continues to be warned all the way through Monroe and all the way through Janesville. Be on alert that there have been possible tornadoes spinning up. We did have a confirmed tornado in Jefferson County. That is the one that is now moving into towards Oconomowoc, just south of 94. But that is getting closer to Milwaukee, so folks watching us are not in that. But if you know somebody near Oconomowoc area, just give them a heads up. There was a confirmed tornado on 94. So right now, you can see those 4 counties, Walworth, Rock, Greene, and Lafayette counties. Those are the 4 that are, at this point, have been untouched and still waiting for severe weather. This should be chopped. So pretty much Dane County, your threats are over despite being in the middle of this severe thunderstorm warning. Let's go ahead and put on radar here again. So you could see, like I said, while I showed you the warning in Madison, the threat is over in Madison. We're watching this leading edge here that has been producing 60-mile-per-hour winds. The worst of the entire event has been in the east side of 39, 90, 94. That has been where we've seen a lot more damage. We did have some isolated damage west of Madison, but this is where we had our confirmed tornado in Jefferson. So we've been watching this line of storms here, especially that where Bode off to the north, that was producing a tornado earlier. But Janesville, get ready here in about 10 minutes, Janesville, you are going to be expecting a 50 or 60 mile per hour wind. Anything over here towards Crawford County, it looks intense, but this is our only non-severe thunderstorm at the moment is the one actually moving through Grant County. So we are seeing this storm start to move into those bottom 4 rows of counties at the moment as we're expecting that 60, 70 mile per hour wind gust. Catherine, do you have any updates?
So nothing really yet. It looks like a max wind gust measured near the Milwaukee office. They were just talking about how the power keeps going on and off there, and they've been doing a great job keeping us updated as well. I know a lot of people have had power, outage issues so far. Let's talk about some tips, though. If you are in these areas that have been dealing with severe weather, just some good things to always remind yourself. The safest place is underground shelter, your basement, what we like to call a safe room, if you have that too, which if you don't, interior rooms, the hallways, that is always the best place to go, the next best place. So the lowest level, that is also always the safest. Please stay away from the windows. That is not somewhere we want you to be. A lot of these have been rain wrapped, so it's just hard to see things in general if you are trying to look for the storms. That's what we're here for. We're here to tell you where they're at, where they're going. So just stay away from any windows. You know, get out of auditoriums, warehouses. Let's hopefully, you know, we're not dealing with that at this time of night, but this is also an issue. So, I mean, if you know anyone that's in the line of these storms, I think it's just always best to make sure that they know what's going on, since this is the time that you do not want this to be happening, the severe weather, because a lot of us are sleeping at this time. So just calling or texting your loved ones, making sure that they are safe. If anyone is outside at this time, please head indoors. Like I said, it's just not one of those nights you want to be out trying to catch these storms, taking pictures, videos. We have trained spotters for that. So, you know, stay safe. Make sure you are inside once again. We've been covering these warnings. It looks like they're still going to be going on for at least, you know, some are still warned for another hour or so at this point. So we have also just switched, or not yet. John's still here. Hi, John.
Hi. How are you?
Let's go back. I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Well, we were just chatting with Max here. Max is in here. We got all three of us. Going to make sure we watch this thing through. We'll hand it off to the morning show here in a little bit. Good news is we don't have any new tornado warnings. Kind of looking at this, trying to figure out exactly what's happening next. This is clearly the strongest storm right now. This one, out of our viewing area in Oconomowoc, this is producing a tornado, and it is also producing 70+ mile-per-hour winds. This is where you're going to see most of the damage here tonight. Feeling for those people right now on 94. It is, however, a little bit weaker as you get down towards Monroe and Janesville. Obviously still severe, but I think you're looking at 70-80 mile-per-hour winds and a possible tornado. And you're looking at maybe, I could see some little spin-ups in here, but I think we're looking at more 50-60 mile-per-hour winds in Monroe and Janesville. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but again, we are still dealing with that. And you can see that they're going to warn this thing. This is a very, when you look at that on radar, it's a defined hook. This is, so I think this is a good time to say this. Jefferson County's done. The reason that Milwaukee, the best in the world with issuing warnings, but even them, I mean, this is just so many warnings at one time. They're not going to be able to cancel things in time. But I want to let you guys know that Jefferson County, if you guys are watching right now, you are in the clear. The tornado is now moving through Oconomowoc, and it's going to move on the south side of Milwaukee. It does seem like that was a confirmed tornado. So that is, and it does look pretty good on velocities. So we'll be thinking of those people on the south side of Milwaukee. But for now, you know, what we're watching here is now this severe line of storms as it moves south through Janesville. Let's see. I want to.
So, you know, we are continuing this severe thunderstorm warning right now, and this will be going until 2:45.
This severe thunderstorm warning?
Yes. What was blinking?
Okay, yeah. So they're going to issue this severe thunderstorm warning in Janesville and Elkhorn. I think this is the
tornado possible.
This is a tag tornado possible?
Correct.
And I wonder if our velocities have stopped glitching. You want to try see if we can see anything on velocities here? So this is clearly the main event out here. This is where you have that tornado very, very close to the radar. I've seen little areas of some rotation kind of here, one near Janesville.
I think what we're watching out for, since the line's bowing out, just seeing some quick spin-ups.
Yep. So, yeah, it bows, and where you get an in cut, you get that. And we were looking at that earlier near Cross Plains. Gives me a little inflow, and then I think, okay, we'll probably have a wall cloud there or maybe a small tornado. And that's what I think we're looking at here. Yeah, I can kind of see a little thing going on right now. Two of them, actually, have a little bit of rotation here in Rock County, especially right here. Is that what we're watching?
Yes.
So I have a little rotation going on the west side of Janesville. So as this goes through it, I think you're going to, at this moment, they're not going to warn it most likely unless it shows a couplet, but we are going to be dealing with that 60 mile-per-hour wind gust. Do you want to put on radar? Yeah, so.
Let's stop it.
A little bit of being cut. That's where we're going to have some rotation for it. Coming into Broadhead, coming into Janesville here in minutes. So if you're watching in Janesville, make sure to be inside, away from windows. Broadhead, the same thing. And Monroe, minutes now. Now it's happening with it moving to the south. Beloit, you're about 10 miles from this. So give it about 10 minutes. It's moving 50 to 60 miles per hour. The leading edge is going to be where we have the rest of our damaging wind, and any potential for a tornado is going to be on that line south of Whitewater. There's that little ink cut. You see, that's all it takes, but a little ink flow is where you get that rotation. You can almost imagine it right there. And that's kind of where we're seeing a little bit of that rotation on the west side of Janesville. But as long as it can stay a little bit of rotation, we won't deal with hopefully a tornado tonight as that storm is moving through places like Edgerton, middle of Edgerton. Like I said, north of that, you guys are in the clear. A lot of people watching in Oregon, Stoughton, Verona, Fitchburg, Cross Plains, Madison, anything north of that area, you guys are in the clear. Also, I want to make this clear one more time. Jefferson County, you are not under a tornado warning anymore. So if you're watching in Jefferson, Lake Mills, you are not under this tornado warning. It is tornado warning. Your sirens might be going off, but your threat has passed. I just want to let you know that. As you can clearly see, the next line of storms is about to get set to move south of the border here. You can almost imagine, I can just see it here. There's where your tornadic activity is tonight, as it just moved very, very close to Milwaukee Station. But line of storms continues to move through. Any updates here on damage or wind reports or anything like that?
Keeping an eye west of Janesville. That's the newest thing, but we've been talking about that.
Yep.
Nothing, nothing radar indicated, just
let me just
little
see
spin-ups.
Yeah, it looks... I can definitely see that one. So this is near Footville. I have it,
Right
so I have Footville. It's probably 2 miles. Yeah, it's exactly where we've been watching this.
Right.
So you can see Orfordville. Where did Footville go?
Yeah, another one west of Orfordville.
Yep. Okay, so we're on the exact location of this. So it's right here. So you can see this one. There is going to be a rotation. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a funnel cloud tonight or a lowering base wall cloud. Does look like that rotation is continuing here. You got that little bit of an in cut, and this will continue to work near Rock, probably going to be near the south side of Janesville. You want to put the, people are probably wondering what, let's see if we can find it here on our own velocity. Yep, so there it is. So you can see this 184.
Okay. New tornado warning is coming out for those two rotations.
Okay, 2 rotations. We got one near Orfordville too?
Yes.
All right, so, okay.
Here we go.
So please, we've been watching this. We've been talking about it. We've been looking at this off air. We can see there are 2 areas of rotation right now. It was located near Footville, and one was located near Orfordville. So please, if you're in those spots, get to your shelter immediately. Janesville, you also need to be in your shelter. I'm really focused on the south side of Janesville right now. Anything in between Janesville and Beloit, please get into your shelter at this moment. Your sirens should be going off. Let's talk about some places where your sirens might be going off, but I'm not worried about it. Evansville, Edgerton, and even Broadhead. I don't think this is going to get into Broadhead. Broadhead, Evansville, and Edgerton, you guys are on the outside on this. Let's keep it right here just so I can triple check that Broadhead's good. Let me see is there any way to see the rotation one more time on this?
Okay, yeah.
On this map. Okay, so.
Can we zoom in?
Yeah, go ahead. Let me zoom in on this one near Broadhead. So it's actually located near Broadhead, moving. So please be in your shelter. That I do not, I take that back. Broadhead, please be in your shelter. I thought this was a little bit closer towards Orfordville. Can I get the movement?
It is to the west.
Yeah, okay, so the west of Orfordville. Please, in Broadhead, be in your shelter. 104 and 11 is where this was located, about 2 miles to the east of Broadhead, near Orfordville, kind of in between there. Looks like this is right along Highway 11, going to go over 213 here in a little bit. So that's 1 rotation near Orfordville. You've got your 2nd rotation here, and that is the rotation near Footville. This is near County Highway A and 11. So both of these areas of rotation are both on Highway 11, and they're going to be moving southeast with the storm system. So you can see Janesville here. Let's give me a little bit of rotation. I want to try to pinpoint where this would go over in Janesville. Like can you give me the last 2 scans?
Oh, sure.
Thank you. So it looks like it went there to there.
1, 2. Do you see that?
Okay, yep. So let's go right here. So it looks like 11. Yeah, pretty much 11 on the south side of Janesville is where I'm more concerned here. So you can see Rock. 2 miles south of Janesville on 11. Let's zoom in right here. Let's get it. Let's get this road. Let me get some roads in here. It's a pretty populated area. Let's stop right here. See if the roads pop up. I might have to go one more scan in.
So we do have some power outages to talk about. This has been a case that we've been seeing all night long. Columbia, 597 people are without power. Dane County, 2,319. Green Lake, a lot of people. I mean, a little over 6,000 without power in that area. Sauk, about 1,500, a little over, and overall 32,000 customers and people, viewers watching, a lot, I'm sure, are without power in Wisconsin at this point. So this is something we've been seeing, right, with these storms, a lot of power outages, you know, still ongoing. Should we just start from the beginning?
Yeah, so
go back to watches and warnings.
So what I do when I was looking at getting an update on radar. I just want to give everybody an indication that I have seen what I actually think is happening on these bow lines, and this is very typical. When you have a line that is bowing, a squall line, a lot of times you get what we call gustnados or mesovorts, and what those are is they're almost like a punch down with the tornado, bam, and then it comes back up. I think that's what's going on right now in Rock County. I would not be surprised if the threat is lessening right now, but something has already happened.
Rock County rotations are just not looking as good now.
No.
So that's good news.
Yeah, no, when I was off air, it looked like it spun up on that in cut of the storm, and then all of a sudden now I can't even find it.
Right.
And it's not a bad thing when we can't find it. Because I'm telling you, if it's glaring, that's not good, because that means that you're dealing with something significant. So with that being said, I know, you know, giving some positive reinforcement can allow you to naturally put your guard down. I don't want to do that. But I think it's important to know Beloit, you guys are next. Beloit, this is a fast-moving line of storms. And Beloit, it looks like those two areas of swirl that we had about 10 minutes ago is quickly moving down towards the border. So Beloit, please be in your shelter. These can spin up. They spun up in a second in Janesville. They weakened, so they can easily spin up again as they're crossing over the Beloit area. So it's absolutely necessary for you to be in your shelter right now. It does look like it's moving on the south side of Janesville. Yeah,
so the tornado warning has been continued. Once again, tornado-producing storms were located along a line extending from Waukesha area to Pardo Lake to near Elkhorn. This is moving southeast.
This is here.
Yes.
Right? This is the tornado that was confirmed earlier. Have they given us an update in Rock County?
So the next, it looks like it's moving to Elkhorn area.
The Elkhorn? They don't have it warned?
No.
Okay. Let's put on radar actually. I think because this is actually going to start moving out of our viewing area here very shortly. So now Broadhead and even north side of Janesville, it's already over. That's how fast this thing comes and goes. So give it another 5 minutes in Janesville and Broadhead, but this is pretty much past because it's that leading edge. So the areas that I'm more concerned with now are going to be Beloit, anything on the south side of Beloit like that. That's where we are seeing the rotation. I'm not seeing that in cut anymore that we saw on the west side of Janesville. I wonder if you could roll it back a few scans if we could see if we saw that in cut on the radar. Let's see if we can pull it back. Let's see what it looked like a couple scans ago. A little more. Yep, there it is. You kind of see that little inflow notch. That's where we had that strong swirl. And then as we rolled through it, that swirl quickly went away when we were looking at velocities. So yeah, it came through, and now here we go. It's already, so Beloit, this is going to be on top of you here. This is going to be producing that 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. Janesville, you're in the middle of this. That means that the threat for damaging winds are passing here as we speak, but we're getting ready for communities like Beloit as it's going south on 90, 94, 39, and into that intersection of 43 near Clinton. So Beloit, yeah, this is a couple miles away. Do we have any velocity scans? Anybody talking about that right now?
I mean, the only thing that we have for an update, the line of storms, it is still looking pretty solid from a wind perspective. So it should be strongest from Muskego down to Burlington area.
Okay. Again, they're mainly talking about Milwaukee's threat.
So for us, not so much.
To be real, Milwaukee's storm was way stronger than any storm that we had. And they still are dealing with that 70, 80 mile an hour wind. That was on that leading edge that we keep talking about that produced a tornado on 94. But it does look like we did have we had lots of damage as well. That was just more of that very, very bad storm over here. This was more a couple tornadoes and 60-mile-an-hour winds, which was still very intense. But we saw an 80-mile-per-hour wind in Green Lake, and it knocked out like the entire county's power. So that's what an 80-mile-per-hour wind will do, and that's what they're dealing with out here. Looks like things are starting to wrap up.
Yeah, we're going at 50-mile-per-hour winds near close to home.
Where at?
Close to home in the Beloit area, 50-mile-per-hour winds.
That's what we have reported here?
Yeah, near that area.
So probably going to be in Beloit, which you can gear up for. Make sure you're away from windows. We're looking at the last communities that are going to deal with this wind gust here. Get away from windows. And you're probably going to see some branches down, maybe some small tree limbs down outside. Some things blowing around for sure. I wonder if we zoom all the way out, have they talked about this at all, this tornado warning?
Nothing new. Let me ask.
Okay. So it looks like they've now canceled this warning out towards Greene County, Lafayette County, Grant County. We are not dealing with a warning here. And looks like Madison, Sauk City, this is over. Our severe threat for the night is done. So if everything's all right at your house, you can go to sleep knowing that you made it through the storms tonight. That's good news. But we are still waiting on confirmation here from our last tornado warning. Did have those 2 cells, one on the west side of Janesville, and then we watched that one near Broadhead, kind of in between Orfordville and Broadhead, quickly move down to the south. These were really moving fast. I'm not seeing anything right now.
No.
I see it's very intense the intensity is very intense when you get over towards Walworth County. This is where the intensity is. When I'm looking at this is very intense. That line of storms is going to do a lot more damage than this line of storms down towards Broadhead. I would say it's 20, 30-mile-an-hour winds stronger, miles per hour stronger. So this is where we're going to see most of that damage tonight. Beloit looks like you're going to be getting that downdraft right now, south of Janesville. No updates here on the tornado warning. That's not a bad thing. We do not want to see damage, but please take it seriously. If your sirens are still going off here in Beloit, we are still experiencing the potential for a tornado. Despite things looking good, I want you to just wait it out in your shelter. But, you know, just from what we're seeing right now, the threat is improving down there for at least large tornadoes. Looks like the rain shaft is starting to take over behind it. That's not bad news either. Clearly tonight they're issuing these warnings all the way through the viewing area tonight. Any updates?
Nothing new.
Nothing?
No, I'm asking. But
okay. And are they going to cancel this early? I'm not picking up anything in Janesville and Beloit, so I want to make sure that we make sure everybody in Beloit and Janesville know what's going on. I have some rotation on the north side of Beloit here. I can see it right here.
Yeah, mainly looks north of Beloit, where they think there's...
Right here. This is where I've got... I wonder if our velocities is going to pick up on that.
Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, there's some broad rotation here in between Janesville and Beloit. That's going to be where the focus is for the entire county. So that would be the location of the possible tornado if it was located. You can see areas. Looks like this is U.S. Highway 51, pretty much in Rock, south side of Rock. Not seeing a couplet, but there's going to be some broad rotation here embedded in this near Garden Village, pretty much directly in between Janesville and Beloit right now. I wonder what location this is. Did this come off of that rotation? Is there any way to see that?
Yeah, let's see. So it looks like tornado warnings covering a large area in the southeast. It's covering quick spin-ups. Okay, that's not really anything new.
So they're talking about the spin-ups on it?
Yeah.
Which, when we do, I can't tell you how many events I've dealt with spin-ups. Pretty much it's impossible to actually catch the tornado. You get the tornado, then you issue a warning, and then it dies off. That's typically what spin-ups are. So that's why I think we were talking, again, we go back hours, I don't know how long we've been on, but you think about what happened on the west side of Madison tonight. That's a quick spin-up. You don't have the tornado warning. You try to prepare for it before it almost happens, you know, and I think that's kind of how we want to play this in Beloit is you know that it's out there, you know that there's a potential for it, so just please stay in your safe spot until this storm has passed in Beloit. As this storm is now south of Janesville, so Janesville does look like it's improving. I would say you're pretty much out of it. Wait 5 minutes, and then you're going to be done in Janesville. But now Beloit is where we're under the gun for that potential tornado. Still radar indicated. The only tornado that we've had confirmed all night, it was the one out in Milwaukee. Leading edge is really coming right up on Beloit right now. So, yeah, I mean, it's minutes away from Beloit. The rotations seem to be a little bit more embedded inside of this line. From whatever I was seeing, I don't think it's strengthened. Part tonight, the threats are over. Whatever's falling right now back here is non-severe. Still very intense rain falling, much needed rain is falling in Grant County, but west side we've been mainly watching, especially it is wild how where it's linear straight, it's not as significant as where it bows. I mean, you could see this hook, and look at that inflow out there. I mean, this is the nasty storm of the night was given over towards Milwaukee, and it was this one that took that path that gave us all that damage in Green Lake tonight.
Tornado warning for Rock is officially expired.
All righty. I think that is going to be it for us tonight.
I think
so. Catherine, Max, you got any last words? I want to triple check here before we sign off.
Thanks for watching. I don't see anything else happening. I mean, this is going to expire very shortly. I know it's still on there, but... No,
it looks... So to me, it's the worst is about to move through Lake Geneva.
Mm-hmm. It's moving out of the viewing area off to the east.
Well, Max is here. We're not leaving you completely if something does get fired up. But it's kind of weird leaving with the tornado warning on here. But I think...
We can wait.
No, it's okay. I mean, we know. It's passed. They canceled it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, thank you guys for sticking with us tonight. Hope everybody's okay. If you guys in the morning, if you did have some damage, go ahead and you can let us know. You can take pictures of it. It is safe now to go up to your safe spot. That's everywhere, despite seeing this warning right now. Janesville, you're okay. Madison, everyone's okay. As we made it through a pretty wild night with that Boeing line of storms. Thank you, Catherine. Thanks for coming in, Max. But we'll send you guys back to programming if there is even programming right now.
We've got you covered. Stay with 27 News, WKOW.com, and our 27 News Now app for continuing coverage.
East England drone video captured a giant proposal written in sand.
It was reportedly all part of a local woman's elaborate plan to pop the question to her partner